What's up, Wolverines? Let's talk about when police do not know what the hell they are talking about. John Crump here, writer extraordinaire. I write for MLN.com where I do some journalism stuff, and this is my YouTube channel, John Crump News. If you do me a big favor, like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out. Also, remember, we are still fundraising for Pack 997, which is a Cub Scout pack. We are fundraising to help kids do scouting, learn some skills, and to overall become great people. If you want to donate, the link is down below in the description. And if you're a company and you want to sponsor a video or two, you can do that with 100% of the proceeds going to the scouts. All right, guys, now let's go ahead and talk about what I saw on Friday night. On Fridays and Saturdays, my wife and I, we watch something called On Patrol Live. You might not have heard of On Patrol Live, but you probably heard of Live PD. On Patrol Live is just a rebranding of Live PD. Live PD was taken off the air after the George Floyd killing, and a lot of people had some really not nice things to say about cops, so A&E decided to pull it. It was sold to the Reels Network, where they rebranded and relaunched the show. Let's talk about what happened, and we will cut some of the video in as well. There was an officer in Daytona Beach named Chris Marr. Chris Marr pulled over a car because he thought that it might be stolen. It turns out the guy driving the car just bought the car, and the car might have been stolen, but he did not steal it himself.
It's an inventory of the vehicle. So that means Dan didn't figure it out. I'm about done. You're about to go to jail. I'm done. You've interfered way too many times. You've been warned way too many times. No, that's interfering. This has nothing to do with you. He is an adult. Oh, cool. And he's got a gun. He's right. Oh, that's cool. He's 18. He can't have a pistol.
Okay, did you hear that? He said that you're not allowed to own a pistol if you're 18 to 20, which is absolutely false. In the state of Florida, there is a law that says you're not allowed to buy firearms from a federal firearms licensee unless you're 21. Also, there's a federal law that says you're not allowed to buy a pistol from an FFL unless you're 21. But Florida, they have private sales, and you're allowed to acquire a pistol at age 18. Also, you can be given a pistol below the age of 21 in Florida and federally. So this cop is just wrong. The cop's name is Officer Chris Marr of the Daytona Beach Police Department.
He's 20 years old, sir. Yeah, you gotta be 21 to have a pistol.
What you just heard there was the gentleman's dad informing the cop that he's 20 years old and he's legally allowed to own a pistol. The cop rejected that. Instead of checking to make sure that he was right, which he was wrong, he just reiterated that you have to be 21 years old to own a pistol, which once again is totally false.
Dude, I'm done. You're going to jail. Leave this traffic stop. No, leave or you're going to jail. You've interfered way too many times. You've been warned multiple times. Then leave. Oh, you're going to go to jail with him then.
Did you see that? Officer Chris Marr, or Sergeant Chris Marr, because I guess he's a sergeant, demands that the guy's father leave the traffic stop. The guy's father is trying to inform the officer of the law, but the officer does not want to listen. I don't know if it's arrogance or he's just a jerk in real life, but he's not listening to the dad and he's not verifying what the dad is saying, and the dad is correct.
How important is it to get that off the streets?
Oh, super important. Go ahead, Curtis.
No, go ahead. You got it.
No, it's super important. I mean, if you're a felon and have a gun, that means that you probably aren't you're not up to any good with the gun in your possession like that. So
Right. You could face potential state or even federal charges because of that.
Absolutely. Automatic jail time.
The voices you just heard were from the studio panel. The panel back of the studio consists of former and current law enforcement officers, and they don't seem to be aware of the law either. They also state that he's probably up to no good because a felon with a firearm is up to no good. Well, I don't really care what you think about felons with firearms, but guess what? The person that they pulled over with the firearm was not a felon. So these guys are back at the studio saying that this guy is a felon, or strongly hinting at that when he is not.
So this pistol, well, I know this looks like a rifle, but this is considered a pistol because it doesn't have a buttstock and the length of the barrel. It was being carried in the open in the back seat during this. We're going to look at the legality of him allowing to carry it. He's only 20 years old. You got to be over 21 to be able to carry a pistol.
The officer once again repeats that you have to be 21 to own a pistol, which is absolutely ridiculous. He wasn't even carrying the pistol, it was in his car, which is totally legal nationally and also in the state of Florida. This guy violated no law, but the cop is putting him through hell. By the way, the stolen car he had nothing to do with.
All right, we're back live in Daytona Beach, Florida with Sergeant Chris Marr. He had assisted on a traffic stop here that they believe the vehicle to be stolen, and it sounds like that the individual driving it with the AR pistol might have actually bought it stolen, not knowing that was the case.
So now we have no crime whatsoever. Did you hear that? He bought the car. The car might have been stolen, but he bought it and did not know it was stolen. He had the proof, just to let you guys know that he bought the car, and he was scammed. So there's no crime on the driver's part, but the cop really wants that gun.
He's denying ownership of that gun. Everyone that's on scene is denying ownership of that gun, so we're going to tag that gun for safekeeping until someone is willing to come forward and say it's theirs. We're not.
Earlier on, it was established that the driver owned the firearm. The dad even said it was legally owned, which it was, but now everyone is saying that it is not their gun and the police are confiscating it. Let's think about this. Why would he say it is not his gun now? I think it's because the cop threatened him with arrest and jail time if he admitted that was his firearm. So now, in order to get out of jail, he is saying that it is not his firearm. And you really can't fault him for that. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to prison. So maybe I would change my story to stay out of prison. I'm pretty sure that Officer Chris Marr right now knows that he screwed up. The reason why I'm deducing that, and I'm allowed to deduce that since they deduced that this guy was a felon when he wasn't, was because he did not press the issue. He just said, okay, well, it's not your gun. I'm just going to take it and confiscate it until someone claims it. So I'm pretty sure he knows he screwed up. Maybe someone told him on the sidelines that, hey, you're wrong. The gun is legally owned. He's allowed to have it. But who knows? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I reached out to the Daytona Beach Police Department to see what they had to say about it. A couple questions I asked is, was he corrected? And how are you going to ensure this doesn't happen in the future? I never got a response back. I gave them a couple days to get back to me. They never got back to me. I reached out via email, phone calls, and text. Nothing. No return calls. This isn't the first time the Daytona police have been in trouble, though, over gun stuff. There was a guy that was open carrying on his property, which is 100% legal. His daughter was attacked by a pit bull. He shot and killed the pit bull, and they tried to arrest and prosecute him for that, even though that there was no crimes committed. This shows you the dangers of police not knowing gun laws. You might know gun laws, but don't assume that the police do, because there is a high likelihood that they do not. All right, guys, that is it. Just wanted to highlight this as a learning technique and a learning opportunity for everyone, including the police. Hopefully, the Daytona Police Department will set Officer Chris Marr straight and let him know what is the law and what isn't the law. And hopefully, Live PD, or On Patrol Live, as it's now called, apologized for calling this guy a felon when he was not. All right, guys, stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keeping the fight. I'm out of here. Wolverines and Meffers.